Welcome to this scheduled council meeting of the 21st of October 2025, which is being held in person in the council chambers at Civic Centre 25 Ferris Boulevard in South Morang. This meeting is also being live streamed. I am Councillor Martin Taylor, the Mayor of the City of Whittlesea, and I would like to introduce our councillors in attendance tonight. Firstly, to my right, Deputy Mayor Councillor Danielle Assini, Councillor David Lemberg, Councillor Deb Gunn, Councillor Aidan McLendon, Councillor Blair Caldwell, Councillor Nick Brooks, Councillor Laurie Cox, Councillor Michael Labrador, Councillor Jared Lappin, Councillor Christine Stowe. I'd also like to welcome and acknowledge the Monitor, Mr Stephen Kingshott. And I'd also like to now introduce our Chief Executive Officer, Craig Lloyd, and ask Craig to introduce the members of the Executive Leadership Team.
Thank you, Chair. We have our Director of Planning and Development, Emma Appleton, Director of Community Wellbeing, Agatha Himalevsky, Director of Corporate and Customer Services, Sarah Renner, Director of Infrastructure and Environment, Debbie Wood, Executive Manager of Public Affairs, Janine Morgan, and here at the table, Executive Manager of Office of Council and CEO, Jacinta Stevens. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. On behalf of the Council, I recognise the rich Aboriginal heritage of this country and acknowledge the Wurundjeri Willem clan and the Taungurung people as the traditional owners of the lands within the City of Whittlesea. I would also like to personally acknowledge elders past, present and emerging. I will now read our diversity and good governance statement. At the City of Whittlesea, we are proud of our diversity and the many cultures, faiths and beliefs that make up our community. We strive to be inclusive, welcoming city that fosters active participation, well-being and connection to each other and to this land. We commit as Council to making informed decisions to benefit the people of the City of Whittlesea now and into the future, to support our community vision, a place for all. I note that there are no apologies for this evening, and I move now into acknowledgements. The first acknowledgement is the Community Leadership Program graduation. Recently, our Community Leadership Program participants had their graduation event. This program helps local people gain the skills, confidence to lead community projects and to make a positive impact. I represented Council at the event and had the opportunity to speak with the graduates and listen to their inspiring visions and their stories. It was evident that the passion and purpose each person brings to the community, and I wish each of the graduates the very best in their future endeavours. World Mental Health Day. October 10th was World Mental Health Day, which aims to raise awareness of mental health issues and to mobilise efforts in support of mental health. This year's theme, Stronger Together, Preventing Suicide and Celebrating Diversity, Building Resilience, captures the very essence of the community unity, compassion and collective strength through shared response. As part of that day, I delivered the opening speech at the World Mental Health Day event organised by the Mental Health and Wellbeing Foundation. Mental health is not an individual challenge, it's a shared responsibility that calls for understanding, empathy and action, strengthening the simplifying mental health referral pathways and advocating for improved access to mental health services are key priorities of this Council, and they are outlined in the Community Plan 2025 to 2029 being presented to Council this evening. Northern Council Alliance Transport Campaign. Recently, the City of Whittlesea joined with neighbouring municipalities as part of the Northern Council Alliance, the NCA, in an advocacy campaign calling for improved transport in the fast-growing regions. Last week, I joined my fellow mayors in a series of meetings with members of Parliament at Parliament House, where we advocated on behalf of all NCA councils and the need for major road upgrades across the City of Whittlesea and Melbourne's north, which is critical. Council will continue to advocate to the Victorian Government for our community's needs. Declaration of conflict of interest. Councillors and officers, if you have a conflict of interest on any item on the agenda, you may verbally disclose the type and nature of that interest now, and you must also make a declaration immediately before consideration of the matter in question. Councillors, are there any items for which you have a conflict of interest to declare? No. Officers, are there any items for which you have a conflict of interest to declare?
No, Chair.
Confirmation of minutes. I seek a motion to confirm the minutes of the preceding meeting held on the 14th of October 2025. Councillor Stowe. Councillor Stowe, can I have a motion, please?
I move the motion that confirm the minutes of the meeting of the preceding meeting held on October 14, 2025.
Thank you. I now put the matter to the vote. All those in favour of confirming the minutes, please raise your hand. I note that the seconder is Councillor Caldwell. I now put the matter to the vote. All those in favour of confirming the minutes, please raise your hand. We have a majority vote. In this case, in the yes vote is Councillor Brooks, Councillor Cox, Councillor Labrador, Councillor Lappin, Councillor Stowe, Councillor Zini, Councillor Lemberg, Councillor Gunn and Councillor Caldwell. And Councillor McClendon, I take it because you weren't here, that's the reason why you're not voting.
Abstaining, Chair. Yep.
So you're abstaining. So in this case, it's a majority vote and it's carried. Item 4.1, public question time. Council allows up to 30 minutes for public questions, petitions and joint letters from our community. The public questions will be read out by the CEO's delegate and responded to by the CEO. Any questions submitted that are not in accordance with the governance rules are either declined or held over to the next scheduled council meeting. All questions and responses will be included in the minutes of the council meeting. I note we have received 2 public questions. In accordance with the governance rules, no introductory or background statements in relation to the questions will be read out. I will now hand over to Jacinta Stevens, the Executive Manager, Office of Council and CEO, to read the questions and invite the CEO, Mr. Craig Lloyd, to provide the response.
Thank you, Chair. Our first question is from Nick Brain. The question is, can Council explain how its community plan will help give residents a better deal and restore their community's livability? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brain, for the question. Each year, Council delivers a range of projects and programs right across the City of Whittlesea, including in Wollert. We've recently completed an extension to the Balsham Drive, installed traffic management and lighting along Macedon Parade and Wiperfield Way, and completed the Alumba Off-Leash Dog Park. Construction is in progress of the West Wollert Community Centre. We're designing the Edgars Creek Sports Reserve, ready to build, and planning for the Central Wollert Sports Reserve. Wollert Central Kinder is being completed as well, and that's in addition to a maternal and child health consulting rooms at the Early Learning Victoria Umaku Centre. Duplication of De Rossi Boulevard between Belknap Street and Epping Road was also recently completed. Council will also be spending more than $500,000 next year on renewing several local roads, including Bodycotes, Boundary and Summerhill roads. Next year, construction will commence at Cerridwen Park and a roundabout at Crescendo Boulevard, Bella Vista Drive and the Parade intersection in Wollert. For a full list of what is planned, you can view Council's budget on our website.
Our second question is from Daniel Mesner. The question is, can you tell us...
Apologies.
Sorry. Can you tell us what we can look forward to in Wollert?
Yeah, I got those around the wrong way, but that's all good. So I've had the answer to the other one. Let me just pull this one up here. So this one's related to the community plan. So the Community Plan 2025-29 is designed to support everyone across the City of Whittlesea, regardless of their background or stage of life. It focuses on enabling communities to live well through a 4-year strategy structured around 12 key themes. These themes cover a broad spectrum of community life, including safety and connection, transport improvements, enjoyment of the natural environment, and full participation in community culture and activities. We heard from community what their priorities are, and we've responded with 55 strategic priorities above the ongoing work and services already provided by Council. To deliver on the Community Plan 2025-29, we've shaped 46 targeted actions, services and projects, as detailed in the Community Action Plan for 2025-26, to help address these priorities in a meaningful, practical and sustainable way. Should Council adopt the community plan tonight, it will be available on Council's website.
Thank you, CEO. Now move to item 4.2, petitions. Item 4.2.1, petition in relation to Brush Road, Findon Road intersection. A petition has been received from 7 residents and 5 non-residents, as well as the support of 46 signatories on the change.org platform requesting Council to 1. Reconsider its intention to wait until roadworks are completed on Epping Road before reviewing current traffic management arrangements at the Brush Road and Findon Road intersection. And 2, urgently consider implementing an appropriate traffic management solution for cars turning right into the intersection from Brush Road during peak hour, factoring in changed circumstances and traffic volumes due to the surrounding estates becoming connected to the Haston Boulevard. Do I have a motion for item 4.2.1? Councillor Stowe.
I move the motion that the petition be received.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Stowe, can I please ask you just to repeat the whole recommendation as it appears?
Note that the petition relating to the Brush Road, Findon Road intersection refer the matter to the relevant directorate for consideration. Note the Chief Executive Officer will provide all councillors with information on any action taken in relation to the concerns raised in the petition at a future council briefing.
And I just confirm that's your motion?
I confirm that's my motion.
Thank you very much. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Cox. Councillor Stowe, would you like to speak to the motion?
I don't have anything further to add at this stage, Councillor Taylor.
Thank you. Councillor Cox, as a seconder, would you like to speak to the motion?
I thought Councillor Lindbergh was going to do it. Sorry, I thought only because he absent himself from the previous one. Look, I'd second the motion and make the point, and I think I did this in the Maseretti Drive one as well. Findon Road has been a problem road for us for many years. There had been several plans and ways of dealing traffic management around the Epping central area, including a proposal many years ago by the Deputy Shire Engineer, I think in those days, to provide traffic management around through Miller Street onto Findon Road and the interchange of the Findon Road, McDonald's Road designations. And I think that that's going to be part of the report and obviously what people need to take into account. There is no easy fix to these intersections at this point in time. The road is under-resourced, we accept that. Currently it is our responsibility as a council in terms of the road, the pedestrian intersection that was put down on Maseretti. There are problems associated with Civic Drive and the roundabout, which is a roadblock every night, including the one I experienced tonight on the way here. But also, I note in the questions in the previous council meeting, which I was not in attendance, there is a focus on the Great Eastern Way process. So I don't believe that that actually should be the priority. The priority should be around Civic Drive because that's the major roadblock. With the roadworks in Epping, that's obviously caused traffic flow problems, and as such, this report, we note the petition and we support the people drawing that attention to us. It is an issue, as is the whole of Findon Road. So look forward to the report coming back, but obviously those factors need to be taken into account, and people who signed the petition should be aware that this is not something that's an easy exercise to fix overnight.
Thank you, Councillor Cox. Are there any other councillors who would like to speak to the motion? Councillor Lamberg.
Thank you, Chair. I think I've mentioned in the last council meeting that I receive a lot of calls from this area, north of Findon Road. It is a major issue and it's only getting worse. I think, as Councillor Cox has pointed out, there has been work on High Street, so people have been taking back roads through Maserati Drive and other ways to get onto Findon Road. There is no easy fix, but it really should come before any other road. These people have been struggling with this for a long time, and with the connection to the freeway, to the Hume Freeway, it's only gotten worse. So cars are travelling from Hume right the way through to Plenty Road. It is unsafe, children trying to cross the road to get to schools. It needs to be looked at urgently. So I appreciate the residents' continued support. Please keep sending in petitions. We need to keep the focus on Findon Road. Thank you.
Are there any other councillors who would like to speak to the motion? I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. The motion is carried unanimously. I now move to item 4.2.2, the petition, Dance Power.
Chair, if you don't mind, I'll excuse myself from this as I'm conflicted out.
Thank you, Councillor Gunn. Councillor Gunn, can I just ask you, what is the nature of your conflict?
I'm a committee member of Doreen RSL that was mentioned in the petition.
Thank you, Councillor Gunn. A petition has been received from 228 residents and 25 non-residents requesting Council reconsider the relocation of the Doreen RSL to Brookwood Community Centre, as residents anticipate this would displace Dance Power, a local recreational community dance school. It is noted the petition also received the support of 1,142 signatories on the change.org platform. Do I have a motion for item 4.2.2? Councillor Stowe. And your motion is?
My motion is note that the petition be received relating to Dance Power, refer the matter to the relevant directorate for consideration. And 3, note the Chief Executive Officer will provide all councillors with information on any action taken in relation to concerns raised in the petition at a future council meeting.
Thank you. Can I just confirm, Councillor Stowe, in relation to item 3 and the last word of that item?
Would you like me to read the whole thing again?
Just item 3 again, please.
Note the Chief Executive Officer will provide all councillors with information on any action taken in relation to the concerns raised in the petition at a future council briefing.
And that's your motion, is that correct?
That's correct, that's the motion.
Thank you. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Caldwell. Councillor Stowe, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yes, please, Chair. So I am familiar with Dance Power, and they've been in the area for a very long time, and they've had many girls go through their school, the Dance Power, from right when Lorimer was early in the history of Lorimer. They've been there as a centre point, if you like, for activities for people, girls to do, and I know that they've provided, that opportunity, not just for little girls, but, older girls as well, attended their concerts a number of times, and so they're providing a great community service. So it's really my hope that we can come to some sort of something to accommodate Dance Power, that they don't, that this isn't something that continues in our community. So that's why I accept this petition.
Thank you. Councillor Caldwell is the seconder. Would you like to speak to the motion?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'll just make some very brief comments, and that basically being that obviously whenever we receive a petition, it's important that we engage with the community and get a clear understanding about the issues. So I very much look forward to the CEO, on behalf of Council, bringing a paper to a council briefing in the future, outlining the issues and concerns and ways that we can move forward as a community. So thank you very much. Cheers.
Are there any other councillors who would like to speak to this motion?
Can I just have a point of clarification? How many signatures are on the petition, did you say?
Okay, so they received a petition of 228 residents, 25 non-residents, and they were supported by 1,142 signatories on change.org platform.
Thank you for that.
I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. So I have Councillor Lemberg, Councillor McLinden, Councillor Caldwell, Councillor Stowe, Councillor Lappin, Councillor Labrador, Councillor Brooks and myself, Councillor Taylor. All those against? Those that abstain? Councillor Cox. Motion is carried in. Oh, sorry, Councillor Zini. Motion is carried by majority. I now move to item 4.3, joint letters. And I notice that there are no joint letters. Consideration of reports, item 5.1, annual report of 2024 to 2025. This matter will be spoken to by myself. For this item, I use my discretion to increase the presentment time to up to 5 minutes pursuant to the provisions of the Local Government Act. The City of Whittlesea Annual Report for 2024-2025 provides a clear overview of Council's performance throughout the past financial year against 5 key goals set out in the Community Plan 2021 to 2025.
Point of order. We actually need to move the motion.
If I can just clarify for Councillor Cox, under the Local Government Act, the Mayor is required to present the annual report to the Council instead of officers, so that's what the Councillor Taylor, as the Mayor, is doing. It will then seek a mover and seconder of the motion.
Thank you for the clarification.
The City of Whittlesea Annual Report for 2024-2025 provides a clear overview of Council's performance throughout the past financial year against 5 key goals set out in the Community Plan of 2021-2025 and our annual budget of 2024-2025. It outlines the tangible outcomes of our work, the priorities we've delivered, and the collective efforts that continues to shape our city. The theme of this year's report, Building Better Together, captures the essence of what makes Whittlesea strong. It's a reminder that our greatest achievements happen when we work side by side. Council, community, local businesses and government partners, all contributing to a shared vision of a city that thrives, a city that is truly a place for all. As our population grows, our community becomes even more diverse. Our focus remains on meeting today's needs while preparing for the opportunities and challenges of tomorrow. We are building the infrastructure, services and programs that support every stage of life, ensuring that Whittlesea continues to be a place people are proud to call home. Our municipality continues to grow. So too does the needs of our community, from roads, sporting facilities, community centres, to open spaces, events and a strong local economy. We are investing in what matters the most. These projects are not just about bricks and mortar, they are about building belonging, connection, opportunity for both now and into the future. Through education and leadership programs, the community grants, we are helping our residents to play an active role in shaping our city. We are also building an engaged, passionate workforce, one that is deeply committed to achieving the best outcomes for our residents and our businesses. This year, our community grants program provided $2.66 million to 174 local organisations, sporting clubs and community groups, supporting projects that strengthen wellbeing, participation and local pride across every corner of our municipality. This year also marks a significant milestone in the return of elected representation to our council. 11 councillors were sworn in to serve our community for the next 4 years. It has been both a privilege and a responsibility to take this role, and together we are united in our commitment to listen, engage and to learn from our community. Through consultation, we have developed a draft community plan that will guide Council's strategic direction for this term and reaffirm our long-term vision. Whittlesea 2040, a place for all. Throughout this report, you will see clear examples of partnership in action, how alongside our residents, community groups and other levels of government, we are building a city that values inclusion, participation and connection. Council continues to deliver on major facilities that being people together, that bring people together. This being the Mernda Regional Sports Precinct, where Stage 2 construction is now underway on an indoor stadium and sports courts. The Aboriginal Gathering Place is nearing completion, which will soon provide a welcoming, inclusive cultural place for all, and ongoing construction of community centres in Donnybrook and West Wollert, ensuring families in our growth areas have access to services and support that build strong and connected neighbourhoods. We are also continued to meet the residents through Coffee with Council, Connect with Council, council meets and council greet sessions, important opportunities to hear directly from people we serve and to ensure our decisions reflect the voices of our community. As we look to the year ahead, our focus remains clear: to create a city that offers opportunity to all, a city that is safe, inclusive, vibrant, where people can live, work, learn and play locally, a city that continues to evolve, adapt and thrive together. I extend my sincere thanks to our community for their ongoing engagement and trust, my fellow councillors for your dedication and hard work, to our City of Whittlesea Council officers for their professionalism, unwavering commitment and delivering outstanding outcomes for residents and businesses alike. Together, we are building a stronger, fairer, more connected city, not just for today, but for generations to come. Accordingly, I endorse the officer's recommendation as it appears. Thank you. Councillors, do I have any questions relating to this item? Do I have a motion for item 5.1? Councillor Zini, and your motion is?
I move the motion as per the officer's recommendation.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Lappin. Councillor Zini, would you like to speak to the motion?
Thank you, Chair. The annual report is a public document. It is an opportunity for transparency and reflection, a chance to look back at the financial year and report on our progress towards the goals set out by our community. We have made significant investments this year in upgrading local open spaces and parks, such as the Bunjil Nangan Parkland, fixing roads such as Plenty Road and Everton Drive to make way for the regional Mernda Sports Precinct, and improving community centres like Murnong in Donnybrook. The success of these projects is a testament to our dedicated staff and the strong partnerships we have built. We've also been successful in supporting community initiatives, as the Mayor has explained, local businesses and cultural events through our community grants projects and programs, which total $2.6 million. As we close the book of this financial year, we are already looking ahead. The insights from this report will inform our future decisions and help us plan for a stronger, more sustainable municipality. I look forward to the next financial year's report with my fellow councillors, and I encourage every resident to read this annual report. It is your right to know how your local government is performing. So thank you to our council staff and their hard work and dedication compiling this report. It's a beautiful document. And to our community, thank you for your ongoing support and for holding us all accountable. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Councillor Zini. Councillor Lappin, as a seconder, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yes, please, Chair. Thank you. This annual report paints an incredibly good picture, and it drives home the fact that this city is well run, it's organised, and it's a forward-thinking council. I want to commend the work of the officers for compiling this report. It is absolutely massive, but it's also very well accessible and well set out. The success of the last year has been thanks to the expertise of our officers, the input of councillors, but most importantly, the incredible feedback from the community and their vision and ideas for the future. Being a council area as large and diverse as ours, it can have its challenges, of course, but there's great work being done to build up our growth suburbs and revitalise our established areas. There's lots more work to do and more to look forward to, but this last year has seen some great work done, and I happily endorse this report. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Are there any other councillors who would like to speak to the motion? Councillor Caldwell.
Thank you, Chair. while acknowledging the annual report covers a period of the financial year, I want to acknowledge that the administrators obviously played a role in this period of reporting and the work that they did in contributing to that. But there are some key highlights that I wanted to highlight through this in supporting the motion, and those being Peter Hopper Lake renewal with the pollution traps installed, ensuring environmentally sustainable, fit for purpose into the future. I look forward to the full delivery of that. Also the Stables Kindergarten, where there was $4 million of Victorian Government building blocks program contributed, with 1.5 coming from council, and I was fortunate enough to be along where we had the launch of that with Lily D'Ambrosio and Colin Brooks, and I think that's going to be a really great outcome for the community as that continues to grow and be built. Stage 2 of the Mernda Regional Sports Precincts, which we've broken ground on 4 indoor courts and 8 outdoor netball courts, and I'm really excited to see that continue to progress, and obviously that'll go on to further stages in the future. Mill Park Place framework, which sets out a plan for a long-term renewal and improvements, ensuring a well-connected suburb, and I know that's obviously out for community consultation. I look forward to that being adopted. And these are, of course, things that sort of cross into my walk, but also have really far-reaching implications across the municipality as well. Yan Yan Pipe Track, continuation of a shared path between Trials Road and Centenary Drive. Mill Park, which obviously is going to encourage active travel and other recreation opportunity for people that want to walk through the area. And also, just touching on one of the points that I picked up in reading the report, the previous year's annual report was awarded the Communications Award in the public sector category. So the bar has been set high for this year's report, and I hope we can raise to that. Thank you.
Councillor
I'll
Caldwell.
yield.
So before I put the motion to the vote, are there any other councillors who wish to speak to the motion? Councillor Lindbergh.
Thank you, Chair. Everything that has been said by my colleagues I'm not going to rehash, but I wanted to bring it back to a real grassroots level and experience that I had. When I first started with council, I met a couple at Coffee with Council, and they had many problems with trees, dump rubbish, and what they believed were parks and gardens that were not being correctly mowed and attended to. I've had the pleasure of meeting this same lovely couple at each Coffee with Council, and I was given some great news the last time I met with them. There were no issues to report and everything was being seen to. It was fantastic for me to receive this type of feedback because although the annual report covers all of the larger things that we deal with, this was grassroots feedback to say that we're doing a good job. So everything is not perfect and there is still a lot of work to be done, but it's really great to hear that council is being recognised for the work that we do. Thank you.
Thank you. I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please vote.
There might be others. Anyone else?
Are there any other councillors who wish to speak to the motion that haven't previously indicated? Councillor Cox.
Thank you. Again, I won't try and rehash, but I think it's important to take the point that Councillor Colwell made. This is an annual report that covers this council coming into force, but also covers the period of the administrators over the budget period that they set prior to us coming into office. And I think there has been a number of changes that we should be very proud of as a council, working with residents to ensure their feedback is being listened to, their issues are being addressed, and will continue to do so. The period of the administration was a tough period, but the past year's also been a tough year on this council. So we're working through the processes of the issues, and again, as Councillor Lindbergh has talked about, the Coffee with Council, the meetings, the forums that we've had are the opportunities to engage with residents and get their feelings and their views. It's all very well that we have petitions, and I understand that that's issues that are developing and probably more urgent and pressing. But we have to address what we have within an affordable budget. There was a lot of criticism of people towards the council because we went to the 3% cap on rates. And it's important to understand that we only have a limited monetary supply to deliver in a developing area. And roads are very important for us in terms of the delivery of those services and ensuring that people have the capacity to move around for work and transport opportunities. So I'm not sure we're extending time or we're not extending time.
Are you speaking to the motion?
Yes.
A procedural motion to extend time.
Then
2
a grant
minutes.
motion. Need a seconder for the motion, Councillor Lappin.
Sorry, that was where I was confused before. I thought you were talking to a motion rather than presenting the report, and that's
In
why.
relation to the extension, I'll now put that to the vote. All those in favour? Okay, carried.
Thanks, Mayor. What I'm trying to get through is that it's all very well to say that we have a pocket full of money to be spent. And what we've done through the briefings is pointed out time and time again, and what's presented in the annual report, and I encourage people to read it, is that the monetary position of this council is financially responsible, but it relates to bricks and mortar. It's not the piggy bank out the back that you can smash and raid. It's a matter of the valuations that are applied to the properties and roads that we control that are valuations. So it's not something that we're extremely rich and would love to do a lot more, but I'm one of those people that have constantly said affordable ability to pay the rates, you must set an affordable rate, not just simply go for the increase. Sorry.
Okay, need you to speak to the motion, please, Councillor Cox.
That's it. I am talking to the annual report.
Okay, now referring to rates, can you go back to the motion, please?
No, I'm talking, sorry. Okay, I'm talking about what's in the annual report in terms of dollar values,
Right, thank you.
which is, and part of that is setting rates. So what I'm trying to do is say that when people read the report and they read the financial side of it and how we gather our money, it's through the rate revenue. And I was explaining that process. So what I'm saying is people shouldn't be confused that we can just simply go out and grab some money. We can't. And please understand that in the annual report. Every councillor sitting at this table is fundamentally committed to working for the residents. And that's what we've got to keep the communication level at. And I'm proud to say that this report reflects that, and there's a lot more to come in the coming year as we as elected councils deal with agendas that we see in our wards across the municipality. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cox. Is there any other councillor who wish to speak to the motion before I put it to the vote? I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. The vote is carried unanimously. I now move to item 5.2, Community Plan 2025-29 and the Community Action Plan 2025-26, and I introduce the Director of Customer and Corporate Services, Sarah Renner. For this item, I use my discretion to increase the presentment time for up to 5 minutes pursuant to the provisions of the Local Government Act.
Thank you, Chair, and good evening, Council. Along with Council's 2040 vision, A Place for All, the Community Plan is Council's most important strategic document. Firstly, it sets out the strategic priorities that this Council will deliver in the next 4 years, in its 4-year term. Secondly, it reflects what services and infrastructure our community has prioritised. And finally, it delivers a clear and accountable action plan for council officers. Tonight, we are proud to present this significant strategic document, our Community Plan. I will now ask Adrian, our Manager EPMO and Change, supported by Alessandra, Unit Manager Corporate Planning, to introduce the paper.
Thank you, Sarah. Evening, Mayor and Councillors. Over the past few months, we've been actively consulting and engaging with community on the Draft Community Plan 25-29, incorporating the Municipal Public Health and Wellbeing Plan, Disability Action Plan, and our Community Action Plan for 25-26. This period provided Council with an opportunity to showcase how community feedback and input from the early stages of consultation in late 2024 have been translated into the draft community plan and the draft community action plan. A total of 370 community members participated in the final phase of consultation, demonstrating strong alignment between 55 strategic priorities and the community's initial input during the development of the plan. Overall, the support for the two plans received positive responses, with 88% supporting the community plan 25-29 and 89% supporting the community action plan 25-26. These results reflect a high level of community confidence in the direction and priorities outlined in the plans and demonstrates the plan responds to the community voices which have helped to shape it, including your own. Overall, across the 4 phases of consultation, we have worked together across a number of councillor workshops to identify community trends, set priorities, and come up with tangible actions. We've hosted 35 community-based pop-up sessions, and we thank the Mayor and councillors who attended some of these. We've provided 3 key stakeholder presentations, worked with 66 participants across 4 community focus group sessions. We've received over 877 digital contributions and 790 in-person contributions. In addition, we have led 15 workshops with community health partners, representing a total of 11 organisations to help inform the Municipal Public Health and Wellbeing Plan and Disability Action Plan priorities. The consultation received feedback from a good cross-section of the community, with all age groups represented, an even spread of gender-based responses, and 97% of participants living in the city of Whittlesea across 15 suburbs. We would like to take this opportunity to thank all those that participated in this year-long community engagement program and for sharing their valuable feedback and ideas. Your voices are helping shape a city, City of Whittlesea that is more connected, inclusive and ready for the future. Our new Community Plan 25-29 is designed to support everyone across the City of Whittlesea, regardless of background or stage of life. It focuses on enabling communities to live well through a 4-year strategy structured around 12 key themes. These themes cover a broad spectrum of community life, including safety, connection, transport improvements, enjoyment of the natural environment and full participation in community culture and activities. We also heard that health and wellbeing, housing diversity and affordability, and waste management are other areas that matter deeply to our community. To respond to this, we have shaped 46 targeted initiatives, services and projects as detailed in the Community Action Plan 25-26 to help address these priorities in meaningful, practical and sustainable ways. The Community Plan outlines our vision, our goals and initiatives for the next 4 years. It guides our priorities and actions in alignment with the needs of our community and sets the direction for Council's work and its many vibrant partnerships into the future. It's the Office's recommendation that Council adopt the Community Plan 25-29 at Attachment 1, adopt the Community Action Plan 25-26 at Attachment 2, note that officers will provide quarterly progress reports on the implementation of the Community Action Plan 25-26, formally acknowledges and thanks the community for their valuable contributions throughout the development of both plans. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, do you have any questions in relation to this item? Councillor Lemberg.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Last night, Councillor Brooks and Councillor Colwell and myself, we met with the Whittlesea Multicultural Committee. They pointed out that almost 50% of our community speak a language other than English at home. They mentioned that previously there was a specific multicultural plan. So my question is, do you think that there is enough focus in the current plan to support our growing multicultural community now and into the future?
Thank you, Councillor Lemberg, for that question. Certainly I do. Through the 55 strategic priorities, I believe that it focuses on the 12 themes and all aspects of our community. We are very conscious of how multicultural our community is and offer a number of services, particularly through our Community Wellbeing Directorate and also through our Public Affairs team, publishing things in multiple languages as well. We welcome any feedback on that as we work towards implementing our action plan and developing our future years' action plans as well. Thank you.
Councillors, do you have any other questions in relation to this item? Do I have a motion for item 5.2? Councillor Lappin.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move the officer's recommendation as the motion.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Stowe. Councillor Lappin, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yes, please, Chair. Thank you. So I love going through the 25-29 community plan and the action plan as well. It really brings home the immense scope of what council does, and it shows the many different direct impacts as well as advocacy to other levels of government. There was a lot to cover in this plan, and I recommend our community read through it all. I'm just going to rattle off a few highlights for me, and I'll try to keep it short, but now I'm reading it's actually quite long, so we'll see how we go. So speaking as the council for Mernda, it's been great to see the regional sports precinct taking shape. That it's going to be an absolutely fantastic facility, and it's in a great location, and it ensures our local netball teams have quality courts close to home. The new integrated transport plan looks great as well, which puts a real emphasis on active transport and cycling options, as well as new walking trails, such as those at the Bunjalnanga Parklands. Our affordable housing strategy, this is essential work that makes sure our community has access to quality places to live and ensures those places are designed and integrated into our community well. It was great to see the amount of affordable homes on the new Johnsons Road housing project increased, and the target set to 15% affordable or social housing for all new housing developments in Whittlesea. I also want to highlight our youth programs and youth team here at Whittlesea. There's been a huge amount of work and research into the kind of programs and services council need to be delivering in this space, and it's great to see the amount of uptake of these programs by our younger residents and the positive impacts they're having. And lastly, I'll just touch on, because it's me, all the great work happening regarding our local environment. Council has extensive and well-attended tree planting programs, maintains a huge amount of conservation zones, and will deliver our City Forest program, which will add up to 60,000 additional trees across the city of Whittlesea, improving our biodiversity and making our streets cooler and more comfortable. So overall, this community plan, it sets up Whittlesea for a great 4 years. It prioritises the right things, and it shows our council is on the right path. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Lappin. Councillor Stowe is the seconder. Would you like to speak to the motion?
Yes, thank you, Chair. My technology is a bit slower than me. I'd like to take a moment to speak about the community plan. This plan is significant for the City of Whittlesea, ensuring we are not only prioritising the needs of our residents, but also setting a foundation for sustainable growth and development. The new community, it was great to see so many residents engage and give feedback in the new community plan. So I was seeing people and hearing from them in the community myself, particularly in the North Ward. I have a very active group in Whittlesea and Donnybrook. It takes into consideration our historic and cultural background, as well as our distinctive features, including Quarry Hills and Eden Park, where we've identified fauna and flora that's unique to our municipality, some endangered and some threatened. It's important that we take into consideration all aspects of our community and our diversity of cultures which span from the rich heritage of our ancestors in West Garthtown to European communities and cultures, and the emerging cultures in Far North Ward that are in Donnybrook. By approving the community plan, we're making a commitment to enhance the quality of life for all of our citizens. It focuses on vital areas such as infrastructure, green spaces, community services, waste management, which are crucial for fostering a sense of belonging and well-being within our city. Moreover, the decisions we make are grounded in fiscal responsibility. We understand the importance of managing resources wisely to build a better future for our community, our municipality. This plan not only addresses current needs, but also lays the groundwork for the long-term benefits, ensuring we leave a thriving city for future generations.
Thank you, Councillor Stowe. Is there any other councillors who wish to speak to the motion? Councillor Caldwell.
Thank you, Chair. In bringing the community plan and community action plan together, a total of more than 4,500 people have contributed, refining the community plan to 55 strategic priorities across 12 key themes. Community plan and action plan incorporates the municipal health and wellbeing plan and the disability action plan, ensuring an integrated policy approach embedded in an all-of-organisation approach to responding to these key areas. The Community Plan and Action Plan carries with it the endorsement of the City of Whittlesea Youth Council, which highlights the strong alignment with youth values, emphasises an inclusive transport and safety initiatives, and also spoke to the community quotes and the visual elements, which demonstrates the community-centred aspects of the plan and action plan. The key points of interest for me are the actions which lean into partnering with First Nations people, ensuring the activation of the soon-to-be-delivered Aboriginal gathering place, and the continued advocacy for the Youth Hub, ensuring young people have youth-friendly spaces to access program services and supports. Being a first-time councillor, this is a milestone document which sets out our vision and roadmap for the 4-year term of council. It is responsive to the expressed needs and aspirations of the community, and I wholeheartedly endorse its adoption. Thank you very much.
Deputy Mayor, Councillor Sini.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to echo everything that everyone else has said in terms of it being a 4-year roadmap for council staff that us new councillors have put together. It is also a document of all the voices and ideas and all the hopes of the residents for our future. So over the past year, I've had the privilege of, as deputy, to meet so many of you in the community. And I have to say it's very inspiring to hear from the passion and the excitement of this plan. And you told us what matters most, and the community that is connected and no one feels left out. A place that's sustainable, where we can look after the environment for the future generations, and suburbs that are clean and beautiful. Not looking like that now, but we'll get there. So with safe streets, thriving businesses, and green spaces for families. And also an inclusive community that we're all proud of. Some of the highlights, as mentioned, is the homelessness outreach and advocacy expansion, mental health services expansion, including the youth hub, which is needed, improved employment opportunities with the Beveridge Intermodal Freight Interchange, which is Australia's largest supply chain interchange, and also to partner with external and emergency welfare services to explore the feasibility of a safer neighbourhood expo that enhances education and awareness from the increase in crime. Also, a highlight is the delivery of the Ashline Street in Wollert and Johnson Road, Mernda affordable and social housing projects. I also want to say that I'm really impressed and I'm about the input and commitment from my fellow councillors. Their ideas, their dedication and genuine care for their respective communities are strongly reflected in this plan. Our promise is to listen, to be transparent and to work alongside you every step of the way. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. Are there any other councillors who wish to speak to the motion? I will. Tonight, Council is being asked to consider and adopt the City of Whittlesea's Community Plan 2025-2029 and the Community Action Plan of 2025-2026. I fully support the Office's recommendation that these plans be adopted. These documents are not just administrative frameworks, they represent the collective voice and vision of our community. More than 4,500 community voices and residents have contributed through surveys, pop-up sessions and workshops across our municipality, shaping 12 themes that reflect matters most to the people of Whittlesea, these being community safety, inclusion, health, housing, transport, environment and local opportunity. The Community Plan 2025 and 2029 sets out the strategic direction and long-term goals for the next 4 years, while the Community Action Plan 2025-2026 details the practical steps that Council will take in the coming year to turn these goals into measurable results. Together they provide a clear, transparent and accountable roadmap that aligns with the Local Government Act Victoria and our Council Plan objectives, ensuring that every decision we make is guided by evidence, integrity and community priorities. Most importantly, these plans embody partnership between Council, our residents and our community organisations to build a city that is safe, connected, sustainable and inclusive. I commend the Community Plan 2025 and 2029 and the Community Action Plan 2025 to 2026 to my fellow councillors, and I strongly support the adoption of the Office's recommendation. Thank you. Are there any other councillors who wish to speak to the motion before I put the motion to the vote? I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. The motion is carried unanimously. I now move to item 5.3, the Planning Scheme Amendment, C280, update to existing heritage overlay, request for authorisation, and I introduce the Director of Planning and Development, Emma Appleton.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, councillors. Tonight we present a proposed amendment to the Whittlesea Planning Scheme. that articulates and celebrates the significant heritage values of our heritage places across our city. Places such as farm complexes, homesteads, houses, churches and cemeteries, schools, bridges and commercial buildings that contribute to the story of our evolution as a city. The amendment has been informed by independent and in-house heritage expertise, providing in-depth and fascinating information for our locally significant heritage places. This will ensure ongoing protection of these places, enabling better care for them and sensitive adaptive use into the future. Our heritage places provide an important connection to our city's history, connecting people to place and the landscape. They are highly valued by community. I'm going to hand over now to Liam, our Manager for Strategic Futures, to provide further detail.
Thank you, Emma, and good evening, Council. Proposed Planning Scheme Amendment C280 will update information relating to 73 existing heritage places in the Heritage Overlay. The updates apply mostly to heritage citations and statements of significance, in addition to minor updates to planning controls and mapping. The amendment will ensure the Whittlesea Planning Scheme more accurately reflects the heritage value of those heritage places and is consistent with state government requirements for heritage places in the Heritage Overlay. Having more comprehensive and accurate information and data in respect to these heritage places will provide greater clarity for landowners, improve efficiencies for council in the planning process, and streamline decision making. It will also support design responses which are more sympathetic to heritage values of those places as part of future development proposals. It is important to note that this amendment only proposes to update information and controls to heritage places that are already identified in the Heritage Overlay. The report recommends that Council commences the planning scheme amendment process and seek authorisation from the Minister for Planning to prepare and exhibit the amendment. The exhibition of the amendment and proposed community consultation will enable community members to be well informed of the proposed changes and provide feedback on the proposed amendment, which will then be considered by Council as part of the planning scheme amendment process. Thank you.
So I move the office's recommendation as the motion to be put. Yes, thank you, Chair. The Heritage Overlay for the City of Whittlesea is vital for preserving our rich cultural and architectural heritage. The Heritage Overlay serves as a protective measure, ensuring that significant sites and structures that reflect our local history and identity are preserved for future generations. This overlay will safeguard key buildings. And it's a pleasure to see the Graff Farmhouse in Mount View Road, which was formerly my family. My grandfather bought that house after the Graffs had the house, and where my father spent some formative years. Also Janefield, Brettlebean and Epping State School, where there was 3 generations of my family on the other side attended. So you could say we sort of own this city. And so many other buildings and features of my childhood and landscapes that tell the story of our community, enhancing our sense of pride in our place and belonging. It not only protects individual heritage sites, but also contributes to the overall character and charm for our neighbourhoods, making Whittlesea a more attractive destination for residents and visitors alike. Furthermore, the Heritage Overlay promotes sustainable development practices by encouraging the adaptive reuse of historic buildings, which can stimulate local economies and create jobs. By preserving our heritage, we celebrate our unique identity while fostering a sense of pride. Ultimately, approving the overlay will allow us to honour our past as we look to the future, and that the history of Whittlesea remains alive.
Thank you, Councillor Stowe. Councillor Gunn, as the seconder, would you like to speak to the motion?
Thank you, Chair. Likewise, I understand that the City of Whittlesea has a significant history. It is vital that we keep that intact. And this planning scheme amendment will help us to do that, and it's a no-brainer. I think we just have to go support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other councillors who would like to speak to the motion? Now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Motion is carried unanimously. I now move to item 5.4, Audit and Risk Committee, Charter and Appointment of Chair. And I introduce Jacinta Stevens, the Executive Manager, Office of Council, and the CEO.
Thank you, Chair. Following the Audit and Risk Committee meeting on the 9th of September 2025, the committee chair, Jeff Harry, resigned as the chair. This report is seeking Council's consideration to appoint independent committee member Mr Bruce Pottinger as the new chair for the period 22 October 2025 and concluding on 30 September 2027. It should also be noted under the Local Government Act, it requires an independent member of the committee to chair the meetings. With the resignation of the independent member, Jeff Harry, officers undertook a benchmarking exercise against neighbouring councils and like-sized councils to look at their committee composition. As a result, it is recommended that Council reduce the committee down from 6 members and continue with 3 independent committee members and 2 council-appointed representatives, which is consistent with the number of committee members across other like councils. To reflect the change in the committee representation, officers made slight amendments to the Audit and Risk Committee Charter to reflect the change and are seeking Council adopt the updated charter as attached to the officers' report. Thank you.
I'll move the officer's recommendation as printed.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Councillor Cox, would you like to speak to the motion?
Simply this, Mayor, this is probably one of the most important committees that we have in Council in terms of oversight of our risk and audit responsibilities and responsibilities back to the community. I agree with the change in reducing the number. It doesn't take away from the effect of the independent numbers on the committee. And I think we're very sad to lose the experience of Jeff Harry, and we should acknowledge that at some point. And the appointment of Bruce Pottinger as the new chair is absolutely supported. They do an excellent job. They're very thorough in their questioning. I'm glad I'm not sitting on that committee to have to read the paperwork for those that are sitting on the committee. It is a wonderful job that's been performed. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Lemberg is the second who would like to speak to the motion.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I'd just like to thank Jeff Harry for his commitment and dedication to the role. He has done an amazing job organising us and shepherding the cats into the corral. The role is a very, very difficult one. There is a lot of information that needs to be addressed, and I found that Jeff really assisted us to do that. Bruce is an amazing addition, and I absolutely support him as chair. He has a great accounting and commercial mind, which I think is essential for this committee. I still form a part of the committee. I absolutely love it. Everyone looks at me like I've got 3 horns, but it really is quite entertaining to see the mechanisms of how council works from a financial and operational perspective. So I absolutely support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lemberg. Are there any other councillors who wish to speak to the motion? I do. I fully concur with Councillor Cox and Councillor Lemberg, and in addition, I would like to say this. Good governance is the cornerstone of public trust. Tonight we consider the adoption of the City of Whittlesea Audit and Risk Committee Charter, a key governance document that ensures Council continues to operate transparently, responsibly and in full compliance with the Local Government Act Victoria. The Charter defines the Committee's role in providing independent assurance on financial management, risk oversight, internal controls and compliance. It strengthens Council's capacity to prevent fraud, corruption, uphold sound financial reporting and maintain accountability across every level of our organisation. Council has been reviewed and the Charter has been reviewed and endorsed by the Committee, demonstrating our ongoing commitment to best practice, governance, transparency and integrity. As the Mayor and a Council representative on the Audit Risk Committee, I have seen firsthand the professionalism, independence and diligence with which the committee conducts its work. I also wish to acknowledge Bruce, an independent member who brings more than 20 years of experience in external and internal audit, risk management, financial strategic planning and probity auditing, particularly in local government. His contribution has been invaluable to ensuring that Council's governance remains responsible and strategically sound. I endorse the appointment of Bruce as an independent chair of the Audit and Risk Committee, recognising the vital role he will play in maintaining public confidence in our oversight and accountability framework. This charter reinforces Council's duty as the responsible custodian of public funds and strengthens the community's confidence in our decision making. Accordingly, I endorse the officer's recommendations as it appears. Thank you. Are there any other councillors who wish to speak to this motion? I'll now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. So in favour we have Councillor Brooks, Councillor Cox, Councillor Labrador, Councillor Lappin, Councillor Stowe, myself, Councillor Taylor, Deputy Mayor Councillor Zini, Councillor Lemberg, Councillor Gunn and Councillor Caldwell. All those that wish to abstain? Right. Abstaining, we have Councillor McLinden. The motion is carried by majority. I now move to item 6, notice of motion. I notice that there are no notice of motion. Item 7, urgent business. Councillors, are there any items of urgent business? CEO, do you have any items of urgent business?
No, thank you, Chair.
I now move to item 8, reports of council representatives and the CEO update. Item 8.1, councillor reports. Deputy Mayor Councillor Zini.
Point of order, Chair. I was just wondering, just looking in the agenda, should it be noted that the monitor is present in our agenda at any point? Because I don't see it there. Just a question.
I did introduce and welcome the monitor at the start of the meeting. Would you like me to do it again?
It's not listed in the agenda, that's all I'm asking. I'm just wondering it should be.
Yeah, the reason for that, Councillor Stowe, is the monitor is not an attendee. He's simply present to observe the proceedings of this particular meeting.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you. So I now invite the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Zini.
Thank you, Chair. It's only been a week since our last meeting, so I attended the Waste and Illegal Dumping Forum, held in collaboration with the Hume City Council and City of Whittlesea councillors. This was an insightful forum into the habits of people who continue to dump rubbish. Every resident who is a ratepayer or renter has waste disposal entitlements. It is totally unacceptable to dump any rubbish on any street. So please find out more information on the City of Whittlesea website. I also attended the opening of the Northern Study Hub, where La Trobe Uni and Melbourne Polytechnic have gained federal funding for a study hub, which is a great way for any student who is studying in higher or tertiary education at any uni and any TAFE to access resources to help them with their studies close to home. It is located at Melbourne Polytechnic in Epping, and it's a really good place for students to have those resources. So I recommend any of the councillors to go and visit it. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Lemberg.
Thank you, Chair. I also attended the same event, so I won't go too much into that with regard to rubbish. The one thing I'd like to say, though, that it's not just council's responsibility to deal with rubbish. As our community, I hope that you have enough respect for yourself and your neighbours to not dump rubbish and to report illegal dumping. We need to have some pride in our communities, in our streets, and I think that over time that pride has been lost. In my street, I get to speak with many people about what life was like 30 years ago in Epping, and there was a sense of pride. So I think that one thing this taught me was we need to get that back. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's very important for our community. I also attended last night with Councillor Brooks, but I won't steal his thunder. I'll leave that for him to have a chat about. Thank you.
Councillor Gunn.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, it has only been a week. I am back from leave and I am catching up on the 200 plus emails that were sent to me while I was away. I will slowly get through those. And on Saturday, we have the Painted Hills Ward Coffee with Council session, so I look forward to meeting people there for a nice cuppa.
Thank you. Councillor McLendon. Thank you. Councillor Caldwell.
Thank you, Chair. Often councillors' reports are an opportunity to share what activities we have been doing since our last council meeting. I wanted to take a different approach in doing so. I don't want to diminish the work of Mission Smile, who put on the Northern Diwali Festival over the weekend, or Whittlesea Bug, who held a barbecue at Mill Park Leisure, and also obviously last night with the Whittlesea Multicultural Communities Council. On Friday, I was asked by a dear friend Jenny Dunn to deliver a eulogy on behalf of Jim Cunnington. Jim was a reverend for the Uniting Church and held ministry in Mill Park and Epping in the noughties and 90s before moving on to Ivanhoe and eventual retirement. I wanted to take a moment to read a short passage from that eulogy, which I delivered on behalf of Jenny. He listened to what our people needed. When kids weren't going to school, he helped. He created a space for Aboriginal people to feel seen, heard and respected. From the start, I always felt safe around Jim. Jim became like a father I never had, the strongest man I knew, full of love, compassion and quiet strength. Jim's heart was always for justice, fairness and understanding. Because of Jim, I'm a better person, not a bitter one. I'm reflecting on that over the weekend of a life of service, one that puts others' needs above one's own. It has inspired me to consider what that looks like in our everyday life, in our jobs, in our roles in community, and of course in our work at council. Sometimes it helps to have a little bit of a reminder about what drives us. I'm honoured to have known Jim for 20 years and to have witnessed firsthand his strength and humility. And I thought I'd just share that with my colleagues here as part of my council report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Caldwell. Councillor Brooks.
Thank you. I also attended the Waste Forum on Wednesday night as well. I don't want to go over that too much, but I think that the key point is a sense of pride in the city, and that it's not someone else's job. It's everyone's job. The WMCCC meeting, always entertaining. Councillor Lemberg is a regular attendee, so but it was good to have Councillor Colwell and Councillor Taylor there as well. I think there's an opportunity. There is a large cohort from a very wide-ranging backgrounds with lived experience of what it means to be a new Australian. And I think that they're involved with their communities from the ground level up, and they do a lot of work. And I think that there is an opportunity for council to reconnect and to take advantage and get some ideas going. So I really did enjoy the meeting, and I hope the new people coming along enjoyed it too. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Brooks. Councillor Cox.
Thank you, Mayor. I would talk about the Whittlesea Reconciliation Group. We had a briefing from the Business Economic Group in Council, which was accepted very well. The formal meeting of the group, some items that arose that I'll report on is that the naming process of the Whittlesea Reconciliation Group is under discussion with Wurundjeri Woi, and a recommendation will come back at some point in the future. Michelle Hook, I'm not sure what the title is, I think she was unit manager, has resigned to take up a new role in another area. And we thank her for her service and excellent work in the group. There was discussions around the future gathering place opening, the Grants Road application that was dealt with at the last council meeting, and there was also congratulations to council in terms of the festivals that had been run by council very successfully. Had some issues, but it has been acknowledged that the excellent work. The other area I want to talk about is that the MAV had a state conference and council. where we had presentations on treaty, which will come back again through the WRG, I believe, and the Youth Council and our Youth Mayor was well represented of Whittlesea on stage, and homelessness was talked about. The other point is that I received the Councillor Service Award for 10 years service out of 40. Cumulatively, I'd have to point out, it was actually a lot of people were taken aback when it was announced on stage that it arose from the 70s and wondering why it was only 10 years. And I've said, So very thankful to get that. We also at the State Council talked about social... Sorry, I'm going back home.
Thanks very much, Councillor Cox.
I just got a couple of quick points.
Yeah, happy to do a procedural motion, extension of time.
Have a seconder? All those in favour? Passed.
Thank you. Sorry to take that time, but the State Council talked about social media, and I think that's been talked about a little bit more about funding legal defence on misinformation and harassment. And I think that that was a subject of a long debate about potentially using council monies to defend. I think it's an unfortunate circumstance that we're in at the moment, and something that we obviously experienced here. But it is becoming a behavioural issue throughout local government. It's not just isolated to us, and I think that that's something that's got to be taken into mind. Our colleagues at Banyule put up a motion talking about traffic flows on trucks as a result of the North East Link. We've already got traffic restrictions in those areas. With the opening of the North East Link, they wanted the traffic plan to be quite specific, so it was not used as a rat run for trucks around the North East Link. Unfortunately, I think that was misunderstood by the rest of the council, particularly in the regional rural areas, who thought that Banyule was trying to ban trucks. They were actually trying to focus the trucks into the tunnel rather than through their residential areas. We supported it, but it went down. And there's obviously continued advocacy upon the emergency services levy campaign particularly. So I'll provide the actual report of all the resolutions when they receive. I've actually already sent, I think, a brief update to you from the President, and any other materials I get, I will provide accordingly. Thank you.
Just for clarification and for record, the mover for the extension of time of Councillor Cox was Councillor Caldwell, and the seconder was Councillor Lappin. Now move to Councillor Labrador.
Thank you, Chair. Today I was able to attend the Laylaw Neighbourhood House AGM. I was attending alongside the Honourable Andrew Giles. We were able to discuss some of the amazing work that the Laylaw Neighbourhood House and obviously the wider houses are able to complete in the community and the benefit that they're able to get from that work. I got to speak with a lot of the committee members on ways that they can improve and grow their services. And one of the main takeaways or the consensus was that funding is quite lacking, especially from the state government there. You know, for such an organisation that is deeply embedded into the community, that serves selflessly, you know, I'm hoping that we can get better state government funding for obviously Laylaw Neighbourhood House and obviously the neighbourhood houses in surrounding suburbs as well. My message to them is that I appreciate and value all the work that they do, and I hope to, you know, continue to work with them in the future on ways that we can improve services for our community. Secondly, I also got to speak to a few residents just within Laylaw, and we got to talk about some of the concerns that they were having on a local and state government level. The two big concerns that they were vocalising were that they need new infrastructure in Laylaw, and also that there is a big community demand for safety, obviously with the perceived increase in crime. Obviously, I, like them, want to see Laylaw and, you know, the wider Whittlesea community be able to grow as the community grows and also be and feel safe in their own homes. So I can, I appeal to that. And yeah, thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Labrador. Councillor Lappin.
Thank you, Chair. Mine's going to be very short, I think. And so I spent the week reading the annual report, because it's that thick, and the community plan, which is much shorter, thank goodness. But I will update what's coming up in the next week if you'd like to hear. So I'm starting a new course it's basically to inform councillors on the challenges of climate change in local government and how to navigate those challenges. And then also we've got a planning day with the Northern Alliance for Greenhouse Action, and that's going to determine the strategy for the next 5 years. So I'm looking forward to those meetings this week. And that is all. Thank you, Chair.
I saw that course. Congratulations. Councillor Stowe.
So this week I went to Whittlesea 3 times and attended meetings and met with over 55 residents in the North Ward who had questions and feedback for me. I also attended the Rubbish Forum at Hume itself with Councillor Taylor, and as Councillor Brooks said, it's everybody's responsibility to understand what's going on with the waste issues, but the first step is understanding what's going on, why people are dumping rubbish in the first place. I also attended the Diwali Festival here at Council offices on Saturday with Councillor Colwell. This Friday I'll be at Whittlesea at the Whittlesea Community House for Fix It Friday. So if anybody's listening, anybody watching, want to come along to the Fix It Friday where we deal with a lot of issues, a lot of questions, and it's a really worthwhile program at the Whittlesea Community House. You can also get food bundles, so it's a great thing to do. And as always, Donnybrook Road is first and foremost on my mind and gets another mention. I'd like to thank Councillor Taylor and the Northern Councils Alliance for elevating roads and infrastructure, and to my mind, that means Donnybrook Road. And I'd like to welcome back Councillor McLinden to the table. I feel like we've got a full council again. It's a very busy room here tonight. And lastly, I met with over 20 NDIS providers, carers and people with disabilities in the Northern region, giving feedback on providing better services for people with disabilities and carers in the Northern region.
Thank you, Councillor Stowe. As I indicated last week, I would give a full report from the 23rd of September 2025 to the 21st of October 2025. During that period of time, I worked 293 hours. It's an average of 73.25 hours per week, undertaking mayoral duties. I dealt with 431 emails, 30 customer service CRMs lodged, 7 customer service investigated and closed. I attended 31 meetings, 1 council committee meeting for the committee meetings in which councillors have been placed on. I attended 171 telephone calls, travelled 182 kilometres, attended 44 community events, and I won't repeat the community events that my fellow councillors have attended, but in addition to that, I attended and spoke to the Laylaw District Men's Shed and attended their AGM and spoke to them for 2 hours and questions and answers. I attended the NCA meeting to the Honourable Jed Kearney, the Assistant Minister for Prevention and Family Violence. I attended 2 citizenship ceremonies in which we welcomed 300 new citizens to the cities of Whittlesea. I've attended 4 radio interviews with Plenty Valley Radio, the launch of the Northern Study Hub in Melbourne Polytechnic Library, the Banyule Community Ball, the 8th Northern Diwali Festival, and I was there just shortly after you guys were, and was dancing on stage, and I'm hoping those photos are not available, and I looked for Councillor Cox and he wasn't around. And on the 19th of October, I attended the Whittlesea Bug Biketober ride, where I rode about 30 kilometres, and attended the barbecue at the Mill Park Leisure Centre just before you arrived, and also attended the Real Industry Jobs interview at Practice Morning, where we interviewed 400 people, 50 interviewers, and I personally interviewed 8. And that concludes my report. I now move to item 8.2, CEO update. I now ask the CEO to provide an update to both council and members of the public.
Thank you, Chair. Construction is well underway on the new bicycle path along McDonald's Road. The 900-metre path runs from Scarborough Road through the E6 Reserve, connecting Epping to Westfield Plenty Valley. We're also improving safety for cyclists and pedestrians with the addition of 3 new raised crossings at Scarborough, Derby and Cabot Drives in Epping. The redevelopment of the Stables Kindergarten in Mill Park is progressing well, with demolition of the old building complete and the concrete foundations now going in. The kinder is temporarily operating from the Mill Park Drive Children's Centre whilst the works are underway. We're continuing to invest in improving public lighting across local streets so residents feel safer after dark. Recent upgrades have been completed in Thomastown, Laylaw and Doreen, with more to come in Laylaw, Epping, Doreen and Whittlesea. Depending on the location, works include everything from new bulbs and poles to complete new installations. It's a practical way that we're improving everyday safety in our neighbourhoods. And we've also rolled out free public Wi-Fi at a number of community facilities to make it easier for people to stay connected when they visit. The upgrade means faster, more reliable internet in offices, meeting rooms and shared spaces. Sites now online include Miller, Janefield and Spring Street community centres, as well as the Nicocenzo, May Road, RGC Cook, Wollert, Painted Hills, Epping and Olivine. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, CEO. I note that all these verbal reports will be documented and recorded in the minutes. I now move to item 9, tabled reports. I note that we have no tabled reports to be tabled this evening. Item 10, confidential business. Councillors, I require a motion to close the meeting to the public pursuant to section 66 subsection 2A of the Local Government Act for the consideration of a confidential item.
Motion.
I'll move the motion, Chair. No, sorry.
So, Councillor Gunn, you move the motion to close the meeting?
The motion as that the meeting be closed to the public for the purpose of considering details relating to confidential matters in accordance with section 62A of the Local Government Act 2020 as detailed.
Thank you. Councillor Stowe, you're the seconder, is that correct?
That's correct, Chair.
Yeah. I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. The motion is carried unanimously. This brings us to the end of the open meeting and therefore I close the open meeting at 7:26 p.m. and we'll adjourn for a few moments while we move to in-camera proceedings.